Aquarius, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for March 14th through the 20th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so this week we're in the first quarter phase of the solar eclipse cycle. Essentially, last week we had those new beginnings with the solar eclipse, maybe some new insights, some new things that now, this week, we can be implementing and taking action towards. And we're right in the middle of the two eclipses. We're going to have that lunar eclipse next week. So it's all about seeing where we can ground, where we can implement and move forward with these areas. So for you, it's been involving you and your life path, that Aquarius energy of your first house. So very powerful here. It's a great time to reflect on in terms of your identity, who you are, what you want in life, where you can make change so that you can enjoy more of who you are, being your true self. And in terms of the second house, this is all about this material value or your sense of self-worth going through a change. Where can you really change those areas, particularly your perspective on yourself, on what you're capable of, on your values. And the more open you are to change there, that's setting this foundation, which is all pushing you into forming more one-to-one partnerships, more one-to-one relationships for these next couple years, with the North Node making his way into that seventh house of yours. Now, a lot of that's reflective, trying new things, maybe, with Jupiter retrograde there with relationships, and that's good. You want to be adaptive in the process. Now, this week, we do have a lot of aspects taking place, but quite simply, only a few major ones. Mercury, as you can see here earlier in the week, is going to be forming a few aspects at the same time, which is essentially this part of the eclipse. He's going over that same part where we had the eclipse, sextiling up to Pluto, squaring up to Saturn, and opposing up to Jupiter. So with his opposition up to Jupiter, again, it's all about balance between yourself and your relationships and yourself, and that what's really best for your relationships is for you to be your true self, and what is really good for you is to have healthy relationships. So it's all about seeing the to and fro of that and the dependent energy of the two. Right, because they're the same thing in essence. There's two sides of the same coin, if you will. So enjoying that, though. You got Venus in your first house. You guys could be looking good, feeling good, or just enjoying those relationships in particular, enjoying asserting yourself. And it's been a very mental time, too, maybe with yourself, thinking about self. But remember to balance that with those one-to-one connections. Now, Saturn's right in the middle, squaring both sides, saying, okay, that's great, but there needs to be patience. Needs to be hard work, maturity, and groundedness, specifically with whatever it is you're working on that big picture level, whether it's your career or your legacy or wherever you're putting in hard work, and patience with those things, hopefully. Patience is really the key with Saturn. But Saturn's saying, okay, but with the relationships with the self, ground it, implement it, slow and steady. It can be very constructive. That's the T-square. Now, the sextile to Pluto is saying that there is change available. There's always change available, but we can really see it. We can really feel it. When we draw that line in the sand right now, there's a lot of this power about making change with relationships, about making change with self. And that's going to be specifically here on Wednesday when Jupiter trines up to that Pluto, which can really facilitate a lot of that. Now on Thursday, and one thing I do want to say, actually, your ruler Saturn is going to be squared up by Jupiter starting this week. So you guys will probably feel a bit more of that, maybe optimism, maybe about relationships, maybe about the career stuff. Whatever it is, just stay nice and grounded with it and constructive and long-term with it, which is that square. So Thursday, Mercury is going to go over the South Node and over Chiron. So there's this shift, like I was saying, I think you'll probably start to think more about the values, the material assets, the finances, your sense of self-worth, which is already an area of focus for you, which you'll probably find maybe more mental energy about it. So with Mercury over there, again, re-examining those things, I think will be key on Thursday. Mercury rules your fifth, so maybe re-examining your self-expression, where you can make change, where in the past maybe you haven't been expressing yourself, or an over or under extremes of that, to where you can bring balance there. And then also with what's really deep and meaningful to you, which is that 8th house as well. So it's great to reflect on those things around Thursday. Now over the weekend, Venus is going to go over Neptune in the first house. So with all of this faith and trust that's been so necessary for you guys along the life journey right now, and not needing to know exactly who you are, or what you're doing, where you're going with Neptune in that first house, you can actually enjoy that over the weekend. Maybe with relationships, maybe with self. Whatever it might be, enjoying that life is taking you in a new direction, that there can be presence, there can be that tremendous peace of living in the now moment. And on a minor note, maybe connecting to home and family could be enjoyable, as well as tapping into that adventurous spirit, since Venus rules those areas. All right, Aquarius, so have a great week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week.